We're back at it again, folks. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today, as you can see by the title, I am bringing you guys yet another review. We haven't done this in a while, but here we are. Okay, and as you can see by the title, today we're going to talk about the latest film, After We Fell. Let's get started. So because After We Fell has different premiere dates depending on where you live in the world, just like with After We Collided, this is going to be a spoiler-free review because there are many different places around the world that have not premiered this movie yet, and therefore I will not be spoiling anything in this movie for you guys yet. So without further ado, let's get started. So After We Fell is the third installment to the After series, and it follows the movie After We Collided, which I did a review on, and if you did watch it, you should remember that I had a lot of opinions about that movie, to say the least. And I think like 20 minutes in, I was like, why am I liking this movie? I was like, because I was expecting cringe upon cringe upon cringe, you know, judging by the first movie. And then I watched it, and I think like 20 minutes in, I was like, wait a minute, why am I liking this movie? I was like, why am I liking this movie? And then I was like, okay, maybe I was wrong about this movie. Maybe it won't be that cringy. And then I spoke too soon because then it then switched up on me and got hella cringy. You know when you watch a movie and you feel like you are invading the people on the screen's privacy? There were parts of this movie where I was like, should I be watching? This feels like I'm invading some people's privacy. So I went into this movie kind of hoping that there would be some sort of redeeming factor to it. But did it have those redeeming factors? Let's find out. After We Collided ended with Tessa and Hardin bumping into Tessa's father, Richard.
And who knows? Maybe there is a happy ending for us after all.
Tess. Hey.
Dad?
Dad? I guess we'll just have to find out.
And this movie starts from there. Now, as we saw in the trailer, there is this whole storyline with Seattle, where Tessa is moving to Seattle, but Hardin doesn't want to move because in his mind, after graduation, he was expecting him and Tessa to move back to London. And so that causes a rift, another rift in their relationship. And that is basically what drives this entire film.
I was hoping that we would move to London after graduation.
And how was I supposed to know that?
Now, I was kind of scared going into this movie because this movie is an hour and a half. And I was just like, an hour and a half for After We Fell. Have y'all seen that book? Have y'all seen how thick that book is? It's almost 900 pages. It's like 850 pages or something. And y'all were somehow going to cram that into an hour and a half. And just like I anticipated, the movie is very rushed. A lot of stories that take place over quite a lot of time, a long period of time in the book, they're being rushed over, like the whole Seattle story, like the story with Hardin and Vance, and the whole moving to London story, and the story with Richard, and the story with who's the other? Robert. There's Richard and there's Robert. All those stories, they just being rushed over in the movie because they only had an hour and a half to do this. If they really wanted to put all the information in this film, then I feel like they should have just done what they did with some of the Harry Potter movies and with Twilight Breaking Dawn, where they split it into two. If any movie needed to be split into two in order to have all the details intact, it's After We Fell. You know, as someone who has read the entire series, you know, I expect certain things. I know what's coming because I've read the books, right? But somehow seeing it unfold before my eyes is sort of different, and it has a different reaction to it. I'm just like, well, this is just as stupid as it was when I read it. And I feel like I repeat this with all my After videos, but guys, the level of toxicity between these two people It's just beyond me. I just could not do it. Because in my mind, I absolutely have no reason whatsoever, not even a single reason, as to why Tessa and Hardin are still together. And so, just as I mentioned, there's the whole Seattle story, and that is like the large portion of the storyline in this film, where Tessa has to move because of work. Advanced publishing, she has to move to Seattle, and Hardin does not want to move to Seattle because he wants to graduate and then move back to London, right? Now, Tessa is like, Hardin, come to Seattle with me. And then Hardin is like,
Tessa, London.
So now they can't find a balance. They can't find, meet me halfway. They can't do that. But so most of the storyline is just because of that. And then we have the story of Richard, which is Tessa's father. And Richard plays a more grand role in the book. His story has a lot more detail into it. We get to see how Tessa and his relationship together, how it sort of evolves as the book unfolds. But as I said, because of the duration of this film, there's not a lot of detail that's put into that storyline, so it's kind of sort of very secondary as compared to how much more upfront it is in the book. Then there's Robert. We actually see a lot of Robert in the book, and he only gets like 2 scenes in the movie. For the same reason as the Richard storyline, it's all because of the duration of the film. Now, was the movie accurate? If you were to leave out the fact that a lot of things were being touched on here, and they touched on all the bases that are talked about in the book, but of course a lot of detail has been left out because of the duration. The duration is the biggest problem in this film, apart from the story itself. But apart from that, it is quite accurate. A lot of the story takes place and folds one after the other, just as it does in the book. So I'm not mad at that. They did a good job in terms of the accuracy of the stories that are being told. Not a lot of changes. As for the characters, all the characters that you know from the previous movies are back, but not all the actors, because babes, I can't even keep track of how many people have been recasted at this point. Okay, so as to not spoil anything, I think I'm gonna stop this review here. But let me just say, if you're a fan of the After series, you're gonna continue to like this film, or you're gonna continue to watch it like me, because not necessarily that I like this film. I just want to finish the series because I've already started it. Like once I start something, I can't not finish it. It will bug me for the rest of my life. So I need to finish it. And to think there's still like 3 more movies, right? Because they have After Ever Happy that they've already shot, and then I think it was renewed for 2 or 3 more movies. They had a prequel, and then they have one after what's it called? After Ever Happy. So I'm guessing they have one that continues after the film After Ever Happy, and then they have a prequel which is before all the After movies that's coming out, right? So that's 2. So there's still 3 more movies, if I remember correctly. And I'm gonna watch all of them because I need to finish the series. As cringy as it is, I need to finish it. And speaking of cringe, you know how the first movie was like funny cringy, It's like you watch it and you're like, you're not so stupid, and you just can't help but laugh because the cringe is real. The second film, the cringe is real, but it's just like very uncomfortable to watch. And then there's this film, and in this film you're just like, what am I doing with my life at this point? You start to question all your life decisions that have led you to this point in time, because it's just like, what am I watching? Like there was nothing that was leading to the end of this movie. Like it ends on a cliffhanger, just like the book. So I expected it to end on a cliffhanger. But even if a movie ends on a cliffhanger, you can kind of sort of see that it's going to an end. Like after we collided, you could see after the event that Vance had, and then Tessa and Hardin go on their little walk, you could tell that it's going to the end, right? You're like, okay. This one, you're like, okay, the pot is starting to be stirred. It's starting to bubble a little bit, and then it ends, and you're just like, really. But as a whole, this movie, it's just what you expect from an After film. Yeah. Like Like I can't. It's not bad, but it's not good. It's just like it's after. So yeah, on that note, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, switch on post notifications, all that amazing stuff. Until next time, stay grand. Bye.